is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guest.
Knowledge is power. Boost Your Business, the show that elevates your business with ideas, tips, advice, information, and tools that will take your business to the next level. Boost Your Business with Erika Sánchez begins now.
Hi everyone, happy Saturday. Welcome to BYB, Boost Your Business. I'm Erika Sánchez. I'm your host today. Just to remind you the reasons why I have this amazing broadcast, radio show, podcast, however you want to like it or name it, it's because I want to bring experts to our every other Saturday to talk about ideas or any tactics that might help you in your business. If you're an owner that's watching this radio show, know that sometimes I do bring those experts to give you that advice and help you get to the next level if you need them. But I also like to bring owners into the radio show to talk about them and also boost their business, because at the end of the day, we're all here together to help each other to thrive. If you guys want to book an appointment, go to my website at thriveprofitengineer.com. In there, you'll see my email, my phone number, and the areas we're open. So please give me a call if you have any questions. I'm here to help you and guide you through every process, okay? But I'm super excited because I actually have Carlos in the show here today. Carlos is right here. If you want to put the cameras over to Carlos, he is an amazing owner. I've actually met him a couple of months ago. He's been following me for a couple of years, actually a year ago, right? Or
maybe, yeah.
Maybe a year, I think. But he finally reached out to me, like, let's just talk. Let's talk about how I can help him. He considered maybe franchising, but it was not his moment to franchise yet. So hopefully, maybe in a couple of months, I can convince him to franchise his business. But he has an amazing concept, and please reach out to him. I'll give you more information about, how to contact him. But I want to talk about an amazing topic. And it's a little bit maybe intimate topic, because not many people like to talk about, something that maybe impacted him or us as a young adult, and we grew up with not being bullied, but maybe like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like
Discriminated.
Yeah, discriminated or looked at differently because there is something that maybe we were thought that we had something wrong, but we don't really have anything wrong. It's something that was it was implanted in your mind. And it's more of like, how would I call it? Like a disability of like maybe learning how to read, write, or maybe how to solve a math, problem or something like that. But anyway, I want to introduce you, Carlos. Carlos, go ahead and introduce yourself to us.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for bringing me onto this platform. I think you got a great deal going on here. Congratulations. My name is Carlos Marrujo. I am the owner and CEO of Energy Air. I've been in business now for 5 years, and we serve the entire state. We do residential, commercial, heating and cooling, plumbing, electrical, the full mechanical. We can help with whatever. So
I think you saw his website. If you want to go back to his website, Javier, you can find him there. You can literally book an appointment there where it says contact us. You can find his number there, and you can also schedule an appointment. He does residential and commercial, like he mentioned earlier. He's been around for 5 years, like he mentioned, so he can help you whatever you need. Just give him a call. And that's his family right there, his wife and his kids. Beautiful family. Mm-hmm. Carlos, you were a little bit chunky back in the days, huh? You look amazing today.
Well, I worked hard for that body too. Yeah.
So what's the secret? Like, why are you so in shape now? Like, what did you do back then to now? Why are you so...
Feel better. Just to feel better. When I was, that size, I just felt terrible,
What were you doing differently before than now?
Diet was terrible.
Well, you were eating like McDonald's, Taco Bell.
All of it, and you name it. All of it. And
so what is the secret now, if you don't mind me asking?
Chicken and rice, broccoli, black beans, lentils.
Rice?
Rice, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you need those carbs, and then, dedication to the gym, as much as possible. That's the secret. That's the key.
So what is your routine every day to do this?
Get up early. I wake up, between 3 and 4 in the mornings every day, and then hit the gym. I'm at the gym at 5 just about every day.
Oh my goodness.
5:30, somewhere in there, and then continue my healthy diet throughout the day.
Do you take any supplements or any like protein shakes?
Protein shakes, yeah. Isolate whey protein.
Isolate. So it's not really milk.
Yeah, no, the way the milk messes me up, hurts my
Yeah,
tummy.
because bloating, huh? That
Yeah.
happened to me. That's why I asked. I'm like, what's the secret? Because I want to get fit like him.
Yeah. And then just so I do like a multivitamin. I do liver and kidney vitamins.
That's nice.
A bunch of vitamins.
So you take supplements, but no diet pills. It's just working
no
out.
diet pills. No, there's a bunch of those out there. Those cuts and all that stuff, and like those what do they to rev up your heart rate.
Right.
I can't think of the name of it right now. But no, I don't do none of that.
None of those. It's just
It's just a
basically-
strict diet.
That's awesome. Well, good for you. You look awesome. I
Yeah,
like
thank you.
it. When I'm sure I told you that.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, tell us more about you. Like, I know you'd mentioned your business, but tell me more about like your background, where you come from, more about who you are. A fun fact about you.
Okay. Well, fun fact is, so I was born in California.
Okay.
And then we moved to New Mexico for a little bit, and then we moved to Florida. My dad got transferred with his job there into
Okay.
Florida. Grew up there, high school years, and I loved it, And we moved out here in 2005,
Okay.
and it was a great decision, I think it was great.
What did you do before you came to? You were in Florida, so what did you work in? What was your previous career before you got into your business full time?
So
That's all you did.
yeah, I don't know anything else.
So that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what you did before, and then now you open up your full business. So who did you work for before? It was just corporations, small
Yeah,
business?
so it was a big outfit here in town.
Okay.
Called Interstate Mechanical Corporation, IMCOR. That's where I grew up. I worked there for about 7 years or so. But before that, I was with a bunch of other different AC companies.
Okay.
But I've never been outside the trade. I don't know anything else.
Okay.
This is all I know.
Okay.
Since I was 17.
That's amazing.
yeah.
So at what moment did it trigger you? Okay, I'm gonna do this business on my own. I'm gonna go all out on my own. When did it trigger you that okay, I'm done working for someone else. I know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it myself.
Yeah. So when I turned, I was about 28, 29, somewhere in there. I got bored. I was bored, and I was like, there's more to, there's more to my career that I can.
That's good.
But I was working hard, with that company and learning as much as I could, working and working and working. I was always asking for overtime, I always first to sign up for overtime and just learning my trade, learning. And I got to the point where it's like, okay, let me see what else I can do. My
Yeah.
ambition. I can't sleep sometimes because my ambition gets the best of me. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. So I went from my contractor's license when I was 29, and studied for that for about a year.
Wow, look at you.
And then when I was 30, I opened up Energy Air.
You were 30 years old. That's
Yeah.
amazing. If you don't mind me asking now, how old are you now?
37.
Oh, you're so young, Carlos.
So I didn't go full time with Energy Air till about 30, when I was like 32.
Okay, and those are your kids in that picture over there?
Yep. All three of them.
Oh, they're so
Lexi-
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Lexi, Anaya, and Elijah.
Elijah is the boy?
Yeah, Elijah's the boy. Hmm.
Nice. Are you done? You want any more kids?
No, factory's closed up.
Factory's closed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Done.
Awesome. Now, okay, the reason why I asked about when did you decide to start your business, because the BYB is all about entrepreneurship. It's all about promoting owners to promote their business, but also promote entrepreneurship. What are certain things that you maybe went through that, what are the behaviors, I would say, or what are...
the best, the only thing that you really need to have to be an entrepreneur is drive. You got to have that drive. You got to have that ambition. You got to have that desire to want more, to do more, for yourself and for your family. There's nothing that will hold you back but yourself. You're not going to succeed if you're always second guessing yourself, or you don't have that push or that drive or that energy.
Did you run into any obstacles while launching your business? Like,
Oh my gosh.
were they months that you didn't make any money? Like,
Oh.
did you have those rough months?
Oh.
Can you share them? Like,
Yeah,
maybe a story?
yeah. So we were doing a job up in Page for the dam up there. I can't think of the dam's name up there. Glen Canyon Dam.
Okay.
And I bit off more than I can chew on that job. It was a big government job, and everything was certified payroll, and so it was and all Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is I bit off more than I can chew on that job, and
Okay.
I just about went under on that project there.
Oh, my goodness.
This was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So, the biggest thing to know is how much you can take on and how much you can't, and you really want to go for those, those big jobs, and you really want to, you think that this one's going to be the right one,
Right.
but sometimes it'll take you under, and that one was that job was the scariest for sure, to get through. Borrowing money from family members just to make payroll, and
Because they don't pay you up front, they pay you at the end
At
of
the
the
end,
work. That's
yeah.
what the problem was at the beginning.
so I gotta cover all the cost of equipment, cover all the labor, hours, so it was tough,
Oh, my
2 years ago.
goodness.
So at that point is when I made a decision to make a redirection in the company, and it's been good ever since.
If you can go back time, if you would have done this all over again, what would you have done differently? If you can go back time right now, would you not change anything?
Oh my gosh, I would do so much different.
Okay.
I can't nail it down to just one. There's so much. Probably the one thing I would do is I would have made the employee corrections sooner.
Okay, give me an example. What happened?
I had a couple of guys that were just not performing to their full potential, and it was costing me my bottom line, and
Okay.
and I so making those decisions, making those tough
Leadership positions.
yeah, slimming down the company, and that was definitely one thing that I should have done, 3 years in or something, not 4 years in or 5 years in or
Alright.
whatever.
And that leads to my next question. When it comes to skills, what are some skills that you think that you need to have to be able to handle all of those things as an entrepreneur? Anyone else who's watching who might have a business, who might have something similar to you, what is your feedback, and what are the skills that helped you?
Listen to your gut.
Okay.
Listen to your gut, because who's who, who's what's what. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to have the street smarts. You got to have common sense. You got to be able to read people. And if you don't, then that's something you're going to really get caught up on. So in order to read people and have the common sense and make those decisions, you got to, it in your gut, if this person's going to work or not, or, this is not a very good fit, or, this job doesn't, there's a lot of red flags with this job.
Of course.
It's a gut thing.
Wow. So more of your intuition, more of like that feeling that's reading people, you said, right?
Yeah.
What
As far as skills, I don't. It's more of an intuition thing.
More of an intuition thing. Okay, very good. Everyone has a different opinion. I agree with you on that. I spoke about this last show that I had with the girls. We talked about this. Intuition is learning when to say no, reading people, and things like that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
That's a good question, actually. I would say still obviously operating Energy Air, making decisions as I see fit. I want to grow the company just a little bit larger, but not too big, just because I like to stay in control, and I like to have a one-on-one with every single customer. But still, in 5 years, I still want to be plugging away. I don't want to put up my wrenches just yet.
Very good.
I still like turning wrenches every day. Not every day, a couple times a week. But yeah, for
That's
sure,
good.
absolutely, keep pushing on.
That's awesome. I saw on your Instagram, I think there was an Instagram or on Yelp, there was really great reviews of you and your company. And I want to show that for a moment. Javier, if you can maybe show Instagram. What I love about Carlos is that he posts his employees there, and it just shows that there's a lot of amazing culture that goes on in your company, and you even award them for Thanksgiving with some Bud Light and cerveza.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be happy with that, especially
Yeah.
those guys, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. that is always, I think guys just wanted to work for me just for the turkeys and beer.
Oh my goodness. And then
Yeah.
you have great reviews on Yelp. Amazing. So you show your passion, and you've shown your hard work commitment by what you perform on your, even your testimonials from clients. So great work, Carlos.
thank you.
You know.
Yeah.
Now that goes to my next question. So what kind of advice would you give an entrepreneur? Now, not skills, advice to an entrepreneur getting into your field, wanting to be their own boss and open up their own little LLC too.
Know your prices. Know your prices.
Such a good one.
Yeah, you really got to, how much you want to charge per hour, how much you want to pay per guy, how much you're paying for equipment, knowing the customer, if it's a residential customer or a commercial customer, you really got to know, because at the end of the day, it's cool to be entrepreneur. You know what I mean? It's cool to have to say you can have your own company, but if you're not making that money, if your profits aren't there, revenue is not there, then you're gonna sink right away.
How did you figure that out? How did you find the pricing, the price points that you required? If you don't mind me asking, how did you figure it out?
A lot of losing. A lot of losing.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's an app called Marcus Limones.
Market Limones?
Marcus Limones. There's
Oh,
an
Market.
app.
Okay.
He kind of gives a guideline on, you buy the equipment for this, you sell it for this, you
Oh,
pay your
okay.
and then, and then
There you go.
At the end of the job, if everything goes right, then you need to come in at 30%, 40%, if you can, possibly.
Very well.
So that would be my one advice, is know your numbers.
And if you don't know them, seek advice, seek someone, or work for a company and learn the pricing points so you can implement, right?
Yeah.
Something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, I never worked for a company that, I was
Right.
yeah, I think the best teacher is just doing it, and just
And going
just
on
fumbling, getting your butt whooped, and that's how you learn. You can learn, or get a mentor. I've had several people that I kind of bounce ideas off, and if I'll just throw something out there to a couple of buddies of mine, and they'll say, well, you need to do this and do that.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah.
Very well. And what has been your most accomplishment journey, event? What has been the most, what is one thing that you've accomplished that you can say,
I made it.
I made it?
Yeah.
You
I would say making the 5-year mark.
Really? The 5-year mark?
The 5-year mark.
Well, that could be different for everyone, but obviously for you, why?
Just because of this industry, because there's a lot of people that undercut everybody, in this industry. But I've been fortunate to get the customers, that pay what I charge, and be able to maintain those customers. So I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel for any customer.
Of course.
So I think that making the 5 years and not playing the undercut game too long, of course I had to, okay, well, this guy's gonna do it for $6,000, I'll do it for $4,000, or $55,000 or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
Or not 55, but 5,500. So there's a lot of undercut in this business.
Okay.
In this field. So making that 5-year mark and still holding strong, I think that's a great accomplishment for me.
That's amazing. Okay. Yeah. So can I ask you another question before I move into your services? Is, for you, how do you define success? It could be irrelevant. That's why I asked. For anyone, it could be different. But for you, how do you measure success?
That's a good question.
It's always a challenge one. I like to ask it.
Yeah, my family is healthy and strong. My employees are healthy and strong, and their kids are good. Everybody's good. So in order to provide that, I think in order to have a good team, happy team, I think that would be.
Yeah, I can see those employees of you being so happy.
Yeah, I take them out to lunch, or mainly breakfast, as often as I can, because they need to be at work. But
love it.
But yeah, I take them out as much.
And are you looking to hire any more employees right now?
In the summer times, I do need more hands. So probably in the summertime, I'll probably bring on another low level technician.
Nice. If anyone's watching who wants to maybe apply, you know where to contact Carlos.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we talked briefly about Carlos. Thank you for sharing that story about you, Carlos, and answering me those questions. But I want to dive into our topic in a short minute, I would say, but I want to go over more of your services. So, Javier, can you show us his website so we can dive into his services? Can you tell us a little bit more about, what are the services that you offer right now currently?
Sure.
Like, I know there's many, but there's so many in there. I'm like, wow, you do a lot of things. So you're very handy.
Yeah. Of course.
So tell us what is your most desired service that you get from, companies or even residentials?
Okay. So we do it all. I mean, there's not, if it's in the mechanical realm, I'll take it on. We do heating and cooling. We'll service air conditioners. We'll service air conditioners, heaters. We'll do duct work for TIs or residential or construction, new construction, remodels, flips.
Nice. Okay.
We do piping, process piping for chillers and that type of stuff, cooling towers.
So anyone could be your client. You're talking about restaurants.
Anybody.
Anyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
anybody. Yeah, I prefer commercial
Okay.
because that's just where I came from. I never worked for a residential outfit. I prefer commercial, and it's a little more challenging. It's residential is very basic, very simple.
Okay.
Commercial is definitely a lot more challenging.
Okay.
So I prefer the commercial side of things.
So everything looks complicated. Like that looks complicated to me just looking
It
at it.
is.
That looks difficult. How do
Yeah.
you do it, Carlos?
Yeah, it's teamwork. Everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody's got their job and everybody's got their part and everybody needs to
What am I looking at here? Like, what is this?
So this is at a school that is a Belimo actuator valve. It controls the water flow for an air conditioner.
Okay.
It provides cold water to the air conditioner.
Okay.
For
Very well.
for a school or for a lot of buildings have that type of stuff.
Amazing. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't understand any of that, but that is what we have guys like you can help us and rescue us of any situations like that in companies and in any way.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's a very broad field. You really got to understand airflow, water flow, electric, refrigerant. There's so much to this field. It's crazy.
amazing. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. So there you go. If any of you guys need some of his services, please contact him and you know where to reach him. Okay, so we have a few minutes before we go on our next segment, but I want to talk about our topic. And I know, Carlos, we talked about this before we came here today, is you haven't really shared this side of the story yet, right? You haven't shared this side of like when you were younger, growing up.
Yeah, not a lot of people know about this.
So
Yeah.
I am very blessed, and thank you for sharing
Yeah.
this story with me on my podcast and broadcast, because it's important for people to know
Yeah, it really is.
your story. So I mean, if you want to start talking about, and the topic is, you guys probably saw on my post, is, the disadvantages that he had as a kid. And I wouldn't call it disadvantages, but it's more of the learning disabilities that he was told that he had as a young adult, that it really did affect him as he was getting older. Because remember, when we tell our kids or what we tell our students, sometimes they take that and it affects them through the whole entire course of their life. So he was battling this. Every single day he woke up, he would go to war with what was told to him for him to change that behavior. So
Yeah.
please, let me know more about that. Talk about more about that if you
Okay,
can.
so, all right, so elementary school, we'll start from the beginning. So elementary school, I was the cool kid. I was the guy that everybody wanted to hang out with. So I skated through elementary school, no problem. I was always copying from the girl
Very
next to me. Yeah. So I skated through elementary school, no problem. So, but come middle school, then
Seventh grade?
Sixth grade.
Sixth grade, okay.
Yeah. So, things are kind of split up in, different classes and stuff. And the teachers started noticing, like, what's up? You're falling behind. You haven't turned in anything in, forever. You haven't, So they got me tested, and they came back that I was multiple learning disabilities. So it was reading comprehension, speech impediment, math, just about every subject I had a challenge in. So they stuck me in special ed. And special ed, didn't really learn much. Watch TV, or they would, put on movies and stuff, and they give us a worksheet, and I just scribble on it, make a stick figure or something, and turn it in, and they called it, they counted it. But come junior year, they said you can go to trade school, So I took the sheet home, of culinary or auto mechanic or whatever, My dad says, choose the air conditioning. You always have a job. You always have work. So I chose the air conditioning. My junior year, senior year, I went back for the Mid Florida Tech in Orlando. Continued that program, heating and cooling program there at Mid Florida Tech, and graduated from that trade school when I was 17, and then I went straight out to work. The last semester of my senior year, I went out to the job site and started installing air conditioners and ductwork and stuff, and I've been in the trade ever since I was 17 years old.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Before we continue, Carlos, we're going to go on a short break in a couple of minutes, but we're going to come back, and I'm going to ask you more questions about that, because I know that kind of affected you in some way. There was something that triggered emotional distress, or am I going to be accepted by people? There had to be more than that.
Yeah,
so we'll discover more when we come back. But we're going to go on a short break. Don't go anywhere. In our commercial, you're going to see our sponsor, Carlos from Energy Air. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Don't take off just yet. We have a lot more to share. We will be back in 3, 2, 1. Done deal. This is Boost Your Business with Erika Sánchez.
Well, welcome back. I'm glad you're still here with us. Back to BYB, Boost Your Business. I'm here with Carlos, the CEO and founder of Energy Air, located here in Phoenix, Arizona. We were just talking about the topic that we had discussed in regards to, growing up with disadvantages, and how that turned out to be a success story for him, because he is now a CEO and founder of Energy Air. And we left off talking about his journey in the beginning stages of how this happened. But I wanted to ask you, Carlos, when you were younger, and when your family was notified by the teachers, I'm sure they told your parents, what happened? Like, hey, this is the test that he took, and
they knew.
They knew?
Yeah, they knew. They knew something was up. They were. I don't think they were really caught by surprise. Just because, I was never interested in academics whatsoever. Like reading a book or doing homework or anything. You know what I mean? I never had any interest in that at all. So
Okay.
My dad is a big reader. He's reading a book every night. And he would help me. He would help me with homework and stuff. And there's just a lot of things I just wouldn't get it. I couldn't understand it. I would see him get frustrated. but they knew when that news came through. They knew.
How did you take it? How did you feel about it? Were you already knew that you had a situation? Okay.
So it gave me answers. I said, okay, well that's what's going on.
That explains everything.
So all my friends, they would understand every concept, and they would understand, all the lessons being taught in class and whatever. And I never would. I would just feel like I just don't want to. I don't want to put any energy to it because I won't understand it anyway. So. It gave me answers, as far as, okay, well, this is my weakness, and but these are my strengths over here. I'm very good hands-on. I can see things, know how it's assembled, or how you work on it, or but to see something in a book, or to try to figure something out, on paper, and forget it.
I have a mix. I don't know. I have a problem with teachers or someone telling me that I have a disadvantage as a young adult, because till this day, and I'll admit it, when I read a book, I had to read it multiple times for me to understand it. Will that make? Do you understand what I'm going with?
Uh-huh.
And do I watch a movie and I'm like, I did not understand anything that the movie happened. I have to watch it 5 times, and until this day, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a problem with that. So
yeah, with watching a movie, unless it's like, I can usually understand a movie, the first time I watch it. But if it's something, like Dumb and Dumber, where it gets funnier over time. The 10th time you watch Dumb and Dumber is even funny as the first time you watch it.
Right.
But no, it's just. Reading, I'll have to read something 4 or 5 times in order to really understand it.
But I don't know if you know this, Carlos, but right now, college students, what we do, when I got my MBA, there was no point where I read the whole thing. I would literally read the first sentence, the middle of the paragraph, and then the end. That I already got. I got the, and I'm sure many people do this, but that's what I did. That's how I got through my MBA program. I never read every single word.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do that. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if I could really understand why they would say something. And I think teachers and professors get more educated as we go. That could have happened many, many years ago, obviously.
Yeah. It's all on how you learn. It's these are my strengths. I understand, I can put something together and build something or whatever, I that's how I learn. But if to read something out of a book, forget it. I'll be there all day trying to read the first page. That's how it was with when I took my contractor's test, my contractor's license. The mechanical side, because there's 2 parts of it, right? You got the business side, and then you got a mechanical mechanical test. And the mechanical test was fine. That was nothing. But the business side of it, trying to understand all those terms and all those, all the. I studied the business test for about 6 months. Just try to understand every single word. I would have to look up every single word, and in every single question, and I knew that test inside and out. And then once I went to go take the test, then I passed it, no problem. But it took a long time. I had a buddy. He got his mechanical license the way same one as I do. He took his test within 2 weeks and got it. But it's just how you learn.
At any point, did you ever want to give up? At any point?
No, never.
That's not who you are.
No.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm a fighter. I'm not gonna give up. If there's something I'm set out to do, I'm gonna achieve that goal. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Now let me ask you: were there any other signs when you were younger that you?
No.
No, it was just that you didn't pay attention. You were not
interested.
And not interested.
Yeah, I was just not interested. I'd rather go play basketball or whatever, and you guys can do those worksheets. I'll go play basketball, go hang out in the hallway or whatever. And I just wasn't interested at all. On academics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did it affect you in any other way, though? Getting contracts, maybe deals or things like that?
Not really.
No.
No,
Okay.
not getting deals or contracts. Sometimes I do get in hot water when I order a piece of equipment and they'll send me details on that equipment.
Okay.
And I'll kind of glance at those details and kind of just let's go ahead and install it, and so go ahead and install it, and it's not the exact performance that the customer wanted, and it said it right there, where it's, when the supplier gave me that information, it said it all right there, but I just didn't have any interest in reading all that stuff, and so I do get in hot water. I have, on that type of stuff.
But you still perform. You still do. You're doing excellent work.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. It doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. I don't recognize it. I don't let it affect me.
Perfect.
I can perform just as good as the other person.
Yeah. When you first told me, I'm like, there's just no way. I can't believe you.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. I was just having lunch with a buddy of mine at the supply house, and I was telling him, about my disabilities. He's like, there's no way. He says, no. A lot of people say that just because I just know how to. I know my lane.
Right.
This is my lane, and I'm not gonna go try to do, IT work,
Yeah.
So
I hate the word disability or disadvantages. I hate using those words, but it's the only way that I can make the viewers understand.
I prefer challenges.
Hey, I love that too. More of like the challenges that I will overcome.
Yeah, and I understand my challenges and I understand my weaknesses. So I understand my my strengths and my challenges. So I'm not gonna do something that is really going to impair me. I'm going to go with the route that benefits me. I'm not going to.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and fight with somebody or something, or
Yeah, I love it. So if there's anyone who's watching, or who ends up watching this show, who might have a challenge or an obstacle, let's just call it that, but they may be everyone's different, obviously. Mm-hmm. You're very strong, but there might be people who are not that way.
Right.
What can you say to them to inspire them that,
always believe in yourself. You really got to understand yourself. Being the master of yourself and understanding yourself is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. Your mom, your dad, your little brother, little sister, bigger brother. Nobody's gonna push you. Nobody's going to. You got to dig deep within and understand. Say, okay, well, this is my strengths. Write it down on a piece of paper. Do all your pros and cons, your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
That way, if you write it down on a piece of paper, then it's clear. You can see.
Of course.
Okay, well, I'm good at this. I'm not good at that. I'm good at this, not that.
I love it.
So that would be my advice to somebody that is struggling to find their way. Write it on a piece of paper, get it clear, and really understand yourself.
Well said, Carlos. Well said. And I know that your wife is on the website here. What impact has your wife helped you with this whole journey to? How long have you been married for?
Been married for 16 years.
Oh my goodness, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, long time. Been together since we were 19.
I'm sure she's been supportive.
She's my she's my rock.
Oh.
There she is.
What does your wife do for a living?
Realtor.
I think I've seen her on Instagram. Yes.
Yeah, she does all my books.
So she's been a key component of also your journey as an owner and a supportive of all of your success too.
Yeah, when we first launched 5 years ago, it was she was very hesitant, because the security wasn't there. The financial security wasn't there.
Right.
So I basically jumped off the cliff. I had $300 in the bank account.
Oh my goodness.
And I jumped off and just did one job after another, and she finally ended up seeing the.
Oh, she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, she's the queen.
Does it say Weta on her earring?
Queen.
Queen? Oh, okay. Yeah. I said Weta. I'm like.
Yeah, no.
She is Weta.
Yeah, she is Weta. Yeah.
She's so gorgeous. Okay,
yeah.
That's good. There's always to say, behind every man there is a strong woman.
Yeah, and she's the strong woman. She's very very smart.
I love it.
Very pit bull. She's like a pit bull.
I think all women are like that.
Yeah, she's definitely the rock.
These are your babies. Oh, that's so beautiful. And what do they want to do when they grow up? At least the oldest one. What is she going to do when she grows up?
So she wants to be. Well, it changes every day. But she's very artistic. You know,
Okay.
she wants to, maybe do nails and pedicures and eyelashes and all that type of stuff.
The girly stuff.
The girly stuff, yeah. I don't think she's too interested in college. Yeah.
Okay.
And my middle child, Anaya, she's very talented in gymnastics.
Okay.
She's, so she's 8 years old, but they rank her, almost like they rank her as a lot more advanced, as far as gymnastics.
That's awesome.
And then my son, he wants to be a pro soccer player.
Soccer player, I love it. I used to play soccer, so I can always support that. I love it.
Yeah. So it's good. We're good.
That's good.
Yeah,
Well,
it's fun.
we talked more about Carlos, history and the challenges that he has as a young a boy, and now as an adult, and now as a successful CEO and owner of his company. And at one point, you had multiple employees who worked for you, but it changes. I would say season, right? As a season, it would change.
No.
No, and you're always having a small team.
So we in the wintertime we do slow down.
Okay.
It's just a part of the business. We're super busy in the wintertime, in the summertime. In wintertime we do slow down.
Okay.
So I did have a bunch of guys working for me a couple years ago. Sales guys and technicians.
Okay.
All of it.
The whole team, basically.
The whole team. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was very stressful, extremely stressful, with the customers, with the technicians, with all of that is just very stressful on me. Because I gotta deal with angry customers, I gotta deal with angry technicians, I gotta deal with somebody not showing up on time, somebody making a mess and not cleaning up their mess, to where I cut back the company. Let a bunch of guys go, and cut back the company to 2 technicians.
Okay.
And myself, and the big boss, my wife, and that was the best thing I've ever done. Is cutting back the company.
Why is that though? Why?
So it's all about the money. So revenue came down a little bit.
Okay.
Overall revenue came down a little bit, but income went up. When I had all those guys, I was paying out, so many people, and revenue, revenue was a lot higher. But now that it's, revenue has come down, it's a lot more manageable, a lot more, I know just about every single customer, on the commercial side and residential side. I kind of have a somewhat personal relationship with just about every single customer.
That's awesome.
To where they trust us, and having a small controlled company team is so much more manageable and less stress and higher income.
Would you consider ever growing again to the next level, to a bigger company, or maybe?
If I can bring on a like a general manager that is like me, has my same personality and is just as knowledgeable about the trade as I am, then maybe, But if I can find that person, that I can, but I don't know if I can, I don't want to lose that one-on-one with my customers.
You like to be in the front face. You like to be,
Yes.
engaging with your clients and one-on-one.
Yeah, the one-on-one, and just being present, being present, with my technicians, and being hands-on as much as I can.
Of course.
So.
That's good. Well, that leads me to the next thing, is because, he's done a great job so far. And, we talked about his challenges, obstacles that he had growing up. And look at him now, wherever he's at, he's working and thriving is the excellent word that I'm looking for, is thriving as a CEO. And even if he decides to grow to this corporation level or bigger, energy air company, you're still doing very well, even at the smaller scale of your business. It's still, you're still thriving.
Yeah. I don't see, you might have a different opinion on this.
I do. That's why I'm like,
Yeah. So
I'm more growth. But I understand. I totally understand, because if you can generate great sales every year, you can maintain your family, and you're able to still hire 1, 3, or 4 employees and still make net profits, then you have a good business, even if you have 3 or 4 employees.
Yeah.
But every case is different, you know? So.
I don't measure, like I said, we'll have different views on this, but I don't measure success on the size of my company.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I measure success on how everybody, my family, my technicians' family, my techs,
of course,
my customers, am I providing a good service?
Yeah.
That's how I measure. If I was to grow into a big corporation, I would lose that one-on-one with everybody.
Yeah.
With the employees. I don't want the employees to feel, that they're a number.
Of course.
I like to, stay one-on-one with everybody.
Of course.
And that's just leadership. I want to be a great leader, on all fronts.
Of course, yeah.
And be trusted on all fronts.
Of course. Yeah.
But if I was to go to a corporate size, and I would lose that with everybody.
It's a risk you take. So, and one thing that I tell owners is that when you do decide to grow to that level, you do have to have a great process in hiring the right staff for your team. That way, they can provide exactly what Carlos is looking for. Is that the intimate conversations, the one-on-one, the report, the things that you don't want to lose as a small business owner. But either way, you can grow, but you do have to put a lot of effort to making sure that it's very persistent and that it's growing in an organic scale that is not going to really hurt your reputation. Yeah. And you don't lose the culture that you work so hard. You know?
See that I look at Energy Air as my baby. And I don't want to I want to protect my little baby. And if I don't want to send this baby out to the mean world out there. You know what I mean? And so I look at Energy Air as my little nugget,
you work so hard for.
Yeah,
you gotta protect it
every single day. If I was to get too grand scale, then I would lose all that.
And you did that once, and it wasn't working.
Yeah,
so.
it was too much. If, like I said, if I was to have a general manager, if I was to hire a general manager that had all my qualities,
the copy of you.
if I could find me, another duplicate of me, then I would scale up again, but I wouldn't.
At the moment, you're fine.
Yeah.
Love it. So what is, in the business side, I know we talked about your personal life, the next 5 years. Business-wise, what do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years in business? The same, or you're going to grow, or maybe add more services? What is where you're at?
If I can maintain the same, I would. Just because I got, I've been burned. I've been burned too many times. And that's what it takes. You really, in order to learn, you got to be burned. You got to fall on your face every single time. What I mean, in order for you to learn. And I don't want to get burned anymore. I'm not going to put myself in any type of unnecessary stress.
Yeah, because you already went through that.
Yeah.
You know what it is. You've been there, done it. It's like, it's not your first rodeo.
Yeah. So within 5 years, if I can maintain, what I'm doing now, I'd be happy with that.
Very well. Now, we talked a lot about, your success, Carlos, and, your story as a young adult. On our radio show, there might be people who are watching right now. I'm not too sure who's watching right now at the moment, but is there something that you would like to tell everyone, a message or anything that you can think of that maybe you're obviously in the radio show because you want to also break some barriers about the challenges that you were told that you had as a kid.
Yeah.
But what is something that you want to?
Yeah, for sure. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. If you have a dream to do something, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to be a tradesman or you want to be a circus clown, whatever it is, don't be scared to hold back. If somebody's holding you back, and you really got to evaluate that person that's holding you back. But if there's something, if you want to do something, go for it. What's the risk? The risk is not doing it.
I agree.
So go for it.
Have you ever heard of insanity before?
Yeah.
How can you add insanity to what you just said right now? Like, can you relate to that? Like, you just said something very important is that if you keep doing the exact same thing,
never gonna grow.
You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna see any results.
Yeah.
So, do you agree on that with me?
Yeah. What do they say? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Love it. Yeah, he knows it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm a big believer in just go for it. What? Maybe it's my personal ambition or my personal drive that but if there's something that you want to do, dig deep and try to figure out what it is that you want to do, and do the steps. Write it on a piece of paper. Do it. Do the steps that it takes for you to achieve that goal. Goal setting is a whole nother one. Is having goals set out. Mm-hmm. Short-term goals, long-term goals, weekly goals, daily goals.
Love it. Yeah.
I send out text messages in the mornings to people that I don't really talk to a whole lot. Like maybe once a week or maybe 2 times a week.
Really? Okay.
People that I don't really talk to a lot, I just say, hey, good morning, or have a great day, or hope you achieve your goals, or something like that, just to inspire people. Just because.
That's good.
Just because it's so important that everybody supports everybody.
I love it. Yeah.
And if you don't talk to somebody, then if you don't talk to somebody every single day, like they're not in your immediate circle, but you really like that person, send them a text, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and support them, or her or whoever, and just say, hey, I hope you, to where everybody's support. If it's a big support system, then we can, give that person that drive, and
we can all grow together.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Yeah, and that is why I feel like, and I agree with Carlos, and I always advocate this to many people, is that we're not in competition with no one else. We are in competition with our own self, and every day we wake up and we set goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. I do something different. I follow the 40X. If you ever heard of the 40X?
What is it?
The 40X is the wildly important goals, and I actually learned this in the corporate world, but I implement it till this day. I actually got certified to be a trainer for that, and the way it works is that the 40X is basically you set cadence goals. So you put in a number goal, and you give an exact date that is due. It's very similar to SMART goals, but every single week you are required to come back, write down what your goal was last week, and what was the behavior, right? So the behavior is, I'm going to go and knock on doors, and I'm going to pass 20 business cards, but you can't repeat that anymore the next week. It has to be a different goal. If you do not commit to that goal, then you put a check mark that you didn't commit to that goal. But the wildly important goal is that you have those meetings with your employees, or you have meetings with yourself, or with your partners, whatever that is, and you are required to all meet those expectations. The wildly important goal leads to a bigger goal. So if you have a corporate or you have a business number to meet for the whole year, you just divide that number to the 12 months and then to the 4 weeks and the month, and then from there you break it down to the daily. So you'll get your number. So that is one thing that I like to follow. But for me, it's very critical that you set those goals, like Carlos said, because the only way that you're going to be accountable for yourself to grow is that you set goals. If you don't have any goals or any direction, then you don't know where you're going every day. So
No, that's so true.
It's very critical.
Is having a drive, having a determination every day, knowing what your goal is for that day or what you're working towards that week. It's so important.
Yeah, I love it. Carlos, thank you so much. It's been a blessed
Thank you.
experience for you to be here.
Thank you.
And I'm sure anyone who's watching this radio show, broadcast, podcast, what do you want to call it? It's all that you find value, and I'm sure you do, because we have an amazing owner here that is also a great leader in the community, because he does, sponsor. He does so many things to help out in any way possible, and his energy is amazing, and you guys can probably feel that energy too. It's all great. Please go to his website. His number is there as well, and also his email. Book an appointment with him if you guys want something, and for either if you have an office or you have this big facility that you need any of his services, please give him a call. 480-703-1457, and you can talk directly with Carlos. So that's who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So
Every phone call comes to me, directly to me.
and every text message. But yes, and then Instagram, you know where to find him on Instagram as well. If you want to show some support, you go on, follow him on Instagram as well, or even on Facebook as well. Okay. Before we go into our last, the commercial video that we show, we talked about so many great things, and I want to leave you guys with a quote that I always leave a quote for every single Saturday that I go on a radio show, related to what we talked about the topic. So do not let opinions of others define you. Don't let the doubts of others confine you. You can be so much more than even you suppose. Michael Jessamson. So keep that to heart, and I hope that this, broadcast have made an impact to you in some way. And you can find me on my website as well, on Thrive Profit Engineer, if you guys want to talk to me directly. If you have any questions or any concerns or any issues, whatever that is, I'm here to help you. And that is my... yes, and for franchise creator, if you guys need or know of any other owner who maybe is doing very well and they want to elevate their business, you can find a little bio of my history of my career with corporate America, and then my transition over to my own business. So yeah, give me a call at that number, and I'll see you guys the following Saturday. Bye.
This great deal has already started. We are waiting for you with more tools to take your company to the next level in the next edition of Boost Your Business.